Houston, we have a problem.
Give me all you got!
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
Give me back my gun! I didn't kill my wife! I don't care!
Hello and welcome to Stand and Watch, the best and only dad movie podcast, because we killed all the other ones in the future.
Fucking dead. We closed the loop.
Yep, there's no more. They're all gone.
It was just, we were contractually obligated to kill them.
Not anymore, though, because we closed the loop. That's why we were able to retire.
The loop's closed.
We were able to retire from killing hosts of dad movie podcasts, and now we spend our free time hosting our own dad movie podcast, in which there's no competition, since we killed all the other ones for our previous job. Anyway, hello, Steve Buscemi.
Hey, Steve and other standees. I am Nick, and I've got gold bars coming out of my ears.
And I am Matt, and I don't have any... I'm not seeing any of this monetary things that you're seeing. That's a little unfair.
Look, when you've been around as long as I have, and when you close the loop like I do, you get the gold bars.
The only bars I got are chocolate.
The only bars you got are on your cell phone, and you barely got any of those.
I
don't know where this bit is going. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I wouldn't even know how many bars I have on my phone. Nobody ever calls me.
Nobody calls anybody anymore. The amount of times I get a phone call and it's some random number that I automatically block.
Sometimes I
It's
get
just
phone calls
astronomical.
and I don't answer it, and they always leave a message, and I always check, and it's always the same message. And I don't know if I can repeat the message because some people might find it offensive.
What is it? What is this message you're getting?
It's always from a different phone number, but it's always the same person, and they are speaking Chinese to me.
Someone maybe someone's like giving out your number. And maybe someone's going on like dates in China and like they're like, give me your number, and that person instead gives them your number.
No, because it's always the same person, it's always the same voice, and it always has the same music in the background.
How long has this been going on?
Several years at this point.
And they're still calling you?
Yeah, they're spam calls.
Do they? Oh, they are a spam call. Okay, I didn't know if like that you were being targeted for something.
No, they're spam calls.
I didn't make.
This is like a common like spam call here, at least. I know several people who've had this same call. Like they call your number from a fake number, so it looks like a real phone number. You don't answer it, of course, because who answers the phone when they don't recognize the number? You check your messages, and there's some serene, like faint, like music in the background that's like the kind of music that would play in like a massage parlor waiting room, and it's just some lady speaking Chinese.
That one hasn't made its way down to the States, but I'm sure we'll get it with all these tariffs coming. I'm sure it's on the way. For a minute, I thought you maybe were like in too deep with like some Chinese bookkeepers or something, and they were coming to they were coming to collect.
They heard me shit talking Yakuza off podcast. And they were like, "We're gonna get him. We're gonna spam his cell phone."
They're like, he doesn't want to play the Yakuza games. Get this man. Wait, aren't Yakuza's Japanese?
Yakuza is Japanese. But I will say this though: there's no way for me to tell what language this person is speaking because I don't speak any Asian languages.
Okay, that's fair. You're guessing.
I'm assuming it's I'm assuming it's Chinese and from China because I feel like it's a higher probability that a scam call is going to come from China than Japan.
It's just, I mean, yeah, it's a numbers game at that point.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like China is a much more scam filled nation than Japan, which they just make video games and cat cafes.
You have a Chinese prince. You have a Chinese prince trying to get you to send him some money.
I don't know. I have a half Chinese dog, so maybe they're onto something.
What is your dog? I'm terrible with these dog breeds and where they're from. What kind of dog do you have again?
My dog is half Maltese and half Shih Tzu.
I can't even say Shih Tzu. Are Shih Tzus Chinese?
They are.
I did not know that.
Yeah. whenever something's wrong with her, we always make the joke that she's a piece of China crap.
Jesus. And then what was the other half of her?
Maltese.
Burmese. Maltese. What is that? Is that Alaskan?
Maltese is no, they're like little poofy dogs from, or not poofy, but like they're little snowballs from, like, I think they're Italian.
Damn, you have the Italian Chinese dog.
Yeah, very weird combination.
I like it.
Yeah.
The poofy dog thing. I never understood poofy dogs. Like, where did we start seeing? I guess that's just a breeding thing where we're like, oh, this one's poofy. Let's start making these poofy ones. Because otherwise, if you're poofy in the wild, you're just fucking getting eaten.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Poofy's probably the wrong word for my dog, but she's more
Shaggy, maybe. Shaggy?
Yeah, Shaggy. She's more Shih Tzu, if anything.
I'm very shaggy. My hair, you can't see me right now. No one can see me because we're not on camera.
No.
But I'm very shaggy right now. My hair is getting crazy long. You can see all the grays. I'm just living my best mid-30s right now.
Oh, a little salt and pepper?
A little salt and pepper, but it kind of has me worried that I'm getting a little old and my looping days are behind me.
I've never been worried about getting a little salt and pepper.
You know, my wife looked at me and she's like, wow, you got a lot of grays. And then, usually I'm like, oh, she's fucking with me. And I looked in the mirror and I saw them all and I was like, oh shit, oh my God. I put my hand on my head and kind of kept it there for like the next 3 days. And now I've just got the weirdest bald spot where my hand was.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like the one part about aging that I've never been worried about. I'll take some salt and pepper. I'll take some salt and pepper. Just keep the other things away.
Don't get me wrong. I'm a little worried about it. But you know what? I'm aging like fine wine. And you know what else is aged like fine wine?
The movie Looper.
Looper. Ryan Wilson's Looper. Star Wars is I'm sorry. Star Wars, I called him, I think I combined people there. Star Wars is Ryan Johnson's.
I was gonna say, did you just say that one of the Beach Boys made this movie?
Yes. And I just said I was aging like fine wine, and I showed you how damaged my brain is.
See, that's the part of aging that worries me. I'll take some salt and pepper. Just don't let my mind go.
Right, and then I think of like the current state of Bruce Willis, and it makes me even more worried about myself.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Like it happened. Not to make this a doomy and gloomy podcast, but it fucking just happens. There's no rhyme or reason. You just one day you're doing a podcast called Stand and Watch, and the next moment you're standing in the middle of the highway.
Yeah,
no idea how you got there.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for it. But Looper, I was ready to rewatch Looper.
Yes.
I got the Wikipedia up. Let me read this.
Please.
Looper is a 2012 American science fiction action thriller film written and directed by Ryan Johnson and produced by Ram Bergman and James D. Stern. It stars Bruce Willis, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Emily Blunt. It revolves around present day and present day is air quoted, by the way, contract killers called loopers, whose targets are sent back through time by criminal syndicates from the future. Looper was selected as the opening film for the 2012 Toronto International Film Festival and was released in the U.S. on September 28, 2012 by TriStar Pictures. Film received critical acclaim and was a box office success, grossing $176 million worldwide on a $30 million budget. That's impressive considering all the action scenes in this. $30 million? Wow, very impressive on the budget. What's the Russo film that just came out today as we're recording this?
The Electric State, which by the time this episode's out, everybody's already forgotten exists.
Exactly. I was actually texting a buddy who knows his biz, and he said, they're saying 320 million, but it's probably closer to 400 million. Like, ouch, fucking ouch. But not we'll save the Electric State for another future episode of this podcast. We'll get there.
I hope we don't.
I'm gonna make it happen. I'm putting it on Granddaughter of the Wheel.
Is that my penance for putting Megalopolis on this wheel?
You know what? It just might be. I like Millie Bobby Brown. I don't like her as much as Drake did at one point, but I like Millie Bobby Brown.
Well, nobody should like her as much as Drake did at one point.
Up until the 18th birthday. Everybody had, all those people had a countdown to her 18th birthday. Drake had the same countdown, but then that's when he deleted her phone number.
Yeah. We should get Kendrick Lamar on the show.
We should, everyone's calling Drake a pedophile. Cool to do it now.
If I was, I don't know, man. If I was Drake, I would just never be seen in public again. Just retire. Just stop. Just stop what you're doing.
Uninstall me.
Just become Howard Hughes and live in your basement. Live in your giant basement. Yeah. Just stay in your home movie theater for weeks on end with no clothes on.
He's from Toronto, right?
Unfortunately.
It sounds like Toronto doesn't even fuck with him.
No.
Everyone hates him.
Yeah, we don't. We don't. He left, and you can keep him.
I don't mean to keep beating a dead pedophile here. That's a fun turn of phrase. But let's. You want to get to our letterbox reviews here? Our dad approved letterbox reviews.
I do, and I just had mine open. For some reason, I closed my phone.
I'll go first. I've got one from Olaf, who's a patron. Mr. Moneybags over here. He gave Looper 3 stars, and he said, I like when Bruce Willis gets angry and says time travel doesn't matter because the time travel barely matters after that point, so that's cool. I do love it.
That is cool.
I do love it when a time travel movie's like, it doesn't fucking matter. And then it's kind of like the film's like giving you permission to like stop overthinking it.
Yeah, I love that. I don't care. Nobody should care, okay?
Shouldn't give a shit.
Bruce Willis was speaking directly to the people who submit IMDb goofs.
Yes. The worst. The worst of the worst.
Yeah. In 2012, Rian Johnson knew people are going to watch this and they're going to start taking notes on the time travel so they can submit an IMDb goof about how it doesn't make sense. And I'm just going to stop that right here.
Bruce turned to the camera and said, hey, you stop typing. I got something to say.
Okay. I got a review here from Kate, who gave this, who's a pro member. Good for you, Kate, making a professional career out of this. Kate gave Looper 3 stars and wrote, can't believe Rian Johnson created a whole sci-fi universe in response to the would you kill baby Hitler question.
I saw that one and I liked it, and I was like, yes, Hitler.
I think this is like the top review if you sort by like most rated, and usually I like to scroll down further, get some of the hidden gems in there, but this one, like, this is the one. Sometimes the top rated one is in fact the one.
It's a good review, and she's got a point. Like, seriously, that's probably how you know what if you had a time machine, go back and kill it, and he just was like, well, what if you got sent back to kill yourself? Whoa. So I get it. I get where I like it.
Yeah. Would you get, I guess spoilers, but we do spoilers all the time on this podcast. If you're listening to this podcast, the fact that you clicked play is a spoiler warning.
A 13-year-old movie at this point, you guys.
Yeah. I love
this movie.
Would you go back in time to kill a kid if you knew he'd grow up to kill your wife? Probably. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Yeah. Probably. And we'll get into that.
Well, and if you're old enough, if you're mad about spoiling a 13-year-old movie, you have nobody but yourself to blame. I mean, the movie's old enough to like Roblox, so like
this movie is old enough to purchase several $100s worth of Fortnite skins without your permission.
This movie is potentially old enough to close its own loop.
This movie is old enough for Drake to start DMing.
It always comes back to him, doesn't it?
Well, we started it. We had to loop it back around.
That's going to be the theme of it. We just got to keep looping things back.
Yeah. And by things, we mean Drake being a pedophile.
Yes, Drake being a pedophile. So, hey, you callback fans, wait until the end of the episode where we find a way to bring Drake back into the conversation.
Yeah. All right, should we get into the sandwich?
Yeah, let's get the sandwich time. It's sandwich time.
Sandwich time.
You can tell you can tell it's late.
Yeah. Any repeat listeners, of which I hope all of you, although I hope there's some new ones, I do believe we have enough episodes at this point that our standees can tell which episodes were recorded later in the night.
I know Steve is at home shaking his head, smoking a cigarette, like, they recorded this one after 1 a.m. I just know it.
Yeah. Oh, these boys are past their bedtime.
But Steve listens at 1 a.m. So he gets into our mindset to listen to it. So maybe you all should be listening to this at 1 a.m.
Yeah. Then again, Steve doesn't have to listen to this on his way to work in the morning.
Right. Steve just walks to work. He walks to work. He doesn't like his ears covered. He likes his ears open so he can listen. Steve, by the way, if you're still with us, come on to the show.
Yeah,
Come on, Steve.
open invitation.
You pick the movie. We'll watch it.
Yeah, you'll be the only guest who doesn't have to adhere to the wheel.
Yeah, that's our promise.
Yeah. Although knowing you, Steve, and how big of a fan you are, you're gonna want to adhere to the wheel.
So getting back to the sandwich, I do want to say I appreciate how stupid this movie gets with solar panels. Like every other car has a fucking solar panel, like either on its side or on the hood or on top of the car, and it's one of the first things that sticks out when they're like doing like the drone shots of the city, and it just made me giggle. I was like, yep, this movie's aged really well, and I'm still here for it.
And I think this ties into that a little. I love how this movie just like right off the top, it tells you everything you need to know about this like universe, and then it shows you everything that you don't really need to know, but it's there.
Backdrop, like the TK stuff. TK stuff gets mentioned.
Yeah.
And is just kind of there in the backdrop, but never really a major focus. Like Paul Dano's character, like is talking about like a girl floating or like impressing girls with it, or
like
someone at the
coin.
bar impressing girls with it. Yeah.
And there's like a billboard.
Like it's a coin trick.
Yeah, it's like a coin trick, and there's like a billboard, like are you TK or whatever. But like just right off the top, just JGL, who I'm going to refer to as JGL from now on because it's going to piss some people off. Like right off the bat, he tells you like in the future, if time travel hasn't been invented yet, but it will, and they send people back, and he tells you everything you need to know to understand what happens in this movie, and then everything else you need to know to understand this world. You can just pick up on the details. Like he doesn't like Joseph Gordon-Levitt doesn't have to like tell you outright that in the future, things are kind of a crime-ridden shithole. For you to be able to tell that things are a bit of a crime-ridden shithole,
right? Well, and something else that it does that I really love is that while it's explaining a lot up top and giving you like the rules of the loops and kind of like the breakdown of like the crime syndicate, it also leaves some stuff open for interpretation. Like there's Abe, the character played by
Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels, yeah. And watching this, I was reminded that like when I watched this as a younger man, I thought the character Kid Blue was like the younger Jeff Daniels in this situation. And a lesser movie would have like spelled that out, like, duh, yeah, here we're gonna have a scene where Jeff Daniels tells him that he's his older version. But no, the movie just kind of leaves stuff like that open. Like it kind of just gives you little bits here and there to make you think something could happen, but then doesn't really come back to it, which I really appreciated.
I like that you mentioned Jeff Daniels because he's one of my I didn't take a lot of notes for this, but I made sure to write down how much I like Jeff Daniels in this, because he's just, and this is great because he's like running this operation. He's like from the future, and he's like a mob boss, but he doesn't play it like a mob boss. He plays it like a middle manager who's just too tired to deal with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. Well, like when he's like telling, like when Paul Dano, Seth, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's friend, he doesn't kill his loop, his older self, and like he's hiding at Joseph Gordon-Levitt's place, and like they know he's hiding there. Jeff Daniels like, listen, I'm not gonna break your fingers or do any of this. Just listen to me for 5 minutes, and then you're gonna listen to me, and you're gonna give him up, and that's what's gonna happen. And like you can just tell he's like, I don't want to deal with this. He's just kind of like he's not like too old for this shit. He's just like I don't need to deal with this nonsense.
Well, and Abe was sent back from the future, right? He's like,
yeah,
he was like one of the few people that got sent back and is allowed to live amongst these people, and he's running the show. And so I like, it leaves you wondering like how much of this like played out in his timeline that he remembers, and he's going off of memory. And you start to think about it, and then your head kind of gets fucky with like, okay, so like, is that a time paradox? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And because I remember when Seth's loop breaks away and gets away from him, I remember thinking this time around, like, how did they know? How did they know his loop was broken? Like Seth wasn't like going around telling everybody, but yeah, like it leaves a lot open into interpretation. And we hinted at it earlier in the IMDb, the Letterboxd reviews, that the film, while it's playing with shit like that, it's also like, don't overthink it, you fucking idiot. Just fucking enjoy the ride.
Yeah, and that's great. Just the way he's just like, I don't want, like, he literally, like, straight up, I don't want to talk about time travel shit. It doesn't matter. Like, those are the exact words he says. And, like, thank you, Bruce Willis, for,
Thank you, Bruce.
yeah. And I guess Ryan Johnson, because you wrote it.
Well, you know, there's still nerds on the internet arguing over all the time shit anyway.
Yeah,
But
but
they're
it's like,
put off into their own little corner.
he's right. He's like, I don't want to talk about that shit. It doesn't matter. We'll be here all day with diagrams and whatever. It's like, the movie tells you what you need to know about time travel to understand what's happening. And, like, that's all you need. And who cares? Who cares? I
You don't need.
I love a movie
Go ahead.
I love a movie that, and I hate, I don't know if cinema sins or whatever, but so many movie people, like movie audiences now, are like they try to poke holes into everything. They try to outsmart the movie, and they break things in, like, oh, well, the rules of the movie are this, and I did the math in my head, and I love a movie that just straight up just tells you it doesn't matter. Who gives a shit?
A movie that hates its audience and says "fuck off." So wait. By this rule, would we like Joker too?
No, because I watched Joker 2 and it's bad.
Oh no, I wanted to like it.
Yeah.
I also liked this movie. Sorry, go ahead.
The thing is, if you're gonna do that, you have to do it and be good. Joker 2 is bad.
Oh no, but he's Joker.
Yeah,
he's Joker.
Yeah, I know, but it's bad. But this movie does it and it's good. So
Good. The other thing I really like that this movie does, and Ryan Johnson is aware of the rule. Everyone is aware of the rule that if you have Paul Dano in the movie, he must feel pain. Paul Dano's in this movie, he better get the shit kicked out of him, or some shit better happen.
yeah.
This might be the worst Paul Dano's ever had in a movie.
I mean, I don't know, because, like, it kind of happens to him off screen. Like, we see the results of it from his older stuff, but we don't see it happen to Paul Dano.
Right. So, but just from the implications of the older Seth, like losing his nose mid-scene, losing his legs, losing his fingers, that's fucking terrible, because they're basically hacking. So it's implied they're hacking at Paul Dano off screen.
Yeah,
and I would say it's the worst. It's close, because they really take it to him in Prisoners. Like,
I think
God, that man is a fucking speed bag.
Yeah, I would put this below Prisoners, and maybe There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, he does. Oh my God, Paul Dano. Like, if you are listening right now, pause the podcast, go look for Paul Dano Supercut on YouTube, and just watch what this man has been through. It traces all the way back to when he was young too. It didn't start with Prisoners.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned this supercut, I believe, at the end of last episode when we discovered it. But if you haven't watched it yet, go find it and watch. You literally just have to type in, like, Paul Dano beaten up supercut or whatever. It's just Paul Dano gets his shit rocked.
It's tough. Like that again. That Prisoners one. There's multiple scenes in that Prisoners movie where I had to look away because they just take it to Paul.
Yeah,
Jesus. Is it one of those? But Paul feels like he could fight, right? He could kick your ass, right?
I don't know. He seems like one of those artsy fartsy types that would claim that he's a pacifist.
But when you've had the shit kicked out of you so much, I feel like you learned something from that.
I don't know. Maybe,
but hey,
I feel like
movie following the rule.
I feel like he's like the type of actor who would be like, I've been beaten up so violently in so many of my roles that I've really come to appreciate pacifism and nonviolence.
He's really good at taking the chin music. Speaking of chins, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's chin is JGL. I'm going to do that because that's easier.
Yeah.
JGL's chin in this is great.
Do you like his Bruce Willis makeup? Because I
do.
I know a lot of people are like, it was so distracting and he doesn't look anything like Bruce Willis. But I saw this in theaters when it came out, like when it first came out. And I remember back then thinking that, they did a pretty good job making him look decently like a young Bruce Willis. And I still think that. I read a lot of, like, scrolling through Letterboxd, a lot of people saying, oh, it's so distracting and it's not good. But I think it is pretty good.
I think it was more distracting when he was oversaturated at this point in his career. He was everywhere. He was in Inception. He was in every other movie at this point. And then now I look at him and he's not really. I mean, let me see what his filmography
Well, he was
looks
just
like as of late
he was just in that Beverly Hills Cop movie that nobody remembers because it was on Netflix.
on Netflix. I should go back and watch that. I hear good things.
It is pretty good.
I forget he was only a voice in Glass Onion. He was only a voice in Pinocchio. So he's doing voice work. Trial of Chicago 7. I want to watch that. So maybe I'll go back and watch that. But yeah, now that he's not so much like a face in the industry, I'm like, no, this is fine. And there is one moment they do a flash forward to a timeline where he does kill Bruce Willis's version of him. And so they show him growing old, and there's a cut from a balding JGL to Willis. But it made me, even though like it's close, like the cut to Bruce Willis just made me lose my mind. Because it cuts from a balding JGL to a balding Bruce Willis, and it's just so fucking obvious.
Well, yeah, because I know exactly the part you're talking about, and see, because I think the makeup is good, and he looks decently like a young Bruce Willis, and the reason that cut is so hilariously like in effect, like it's not great, is because like I'm supposed to believe that he went from Joseph Gordon. Like, I can believe he kind of like slowly morphed into Bruce Willis over like 30 years. But like the speed at which that cut shows me he turned into Bruce Willis, I'm like, no, there's no way. You tell me he turned into Bruce Willis within 2 years?
It's kind of like the end of all the Harry Potter movies where they do the 7-year jump, but everyone still looks like they're fucking in their mid-20s, but they just gave them beer guts and like bad wigs.
Yeah, it's like I hate to bring up Star Wars because we said off podcast how much you hate Star Wars and all its fans. And
just as fans, I like the movies.
But it's like how like Ewan McGregor is supposed to become Alec Guinness in like a span of like a couple years.
A bit of a jump.
Yeah, and it's like a bit of a jump. Like I can see him becoming that over the course of like decades. And it's the same thing. Like the makeup is good and like he's a decent like young, like I can believe him as like a 30 years younger Bruce Willis. But when you show me that jump cut, when it's like he's slowly morphing into Bruce Willis and it's just all of a sudden he's Bruce Willis, I'm like, no. But I do
makeup. Like yeah, the makeup's fine. I just that cut is just hilarious. Like the makeup's great. Just the cut is just like doing the cut that fast. No amount of makeup was going to make that not funny.
Yeah, like it's a jump cut, and like it should have been like the Matt Damon Saving Private Ryan cut, where he slowly morphs, right? Like it should have been that. That would have been fine.
I don't even think you got to do a morph. I think you just got to like the last time you see JGL in that moment, and then it cuts to like the back of his head, and then it turns and you reveal Willis, and you make it obvious that like a bunch of time has passed or something like that. I also like that Abe kind of worked Joe into going into the future that we see him in, because Joe is planning his retirement. He figures he's going to be closing his loop soon.
Yeah,
and he's going to go to France. He's learning French. He's been doing his Duolingo throughout the opening scene.
He's been doing his Duolingo.
And Abe is like, you should go to Shanghai.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to go. Like, you should go to Shanghai.
It's like, I'm going to France. I'm from the future. You should go to Shanghai.
Obviously, Abe plays the stocks, and he just knew the stocks in Shanghai were going to be better. He's like, you gotta go there. And that's where Bruce Willis ends up going.
Yeah.
JGL ends up going, and Bruce Willis ends up staying. He meets his wife, gets sent back. His wife is shot, killed, dead. I like the way, and we talked about the setup earlier for the Looper stuff, but I just like the imagery of like the silver bars versus the gold bars, and then the way Bruce Willis uses the bars to like, what were those guns called? The Blunderbuster?
Blunder? I don't know. I think they were just called a blunderbuss.
Blunderbuss, just goofy ass sci-fi fucking rifles, shotguns.
Like a goofy sci-fi shotgun. And I love that he shows up without a hood, which, because the way he does it, the way JGL, kills these people, they appear out of nowhere because they're from the future, and he just immediately like shoots them and they fly back to their deaths. But Bruce Willis doesn't have a hood on. And that trips him up. And he's like, what?
A little
Then he-
harder to kill somebody when they're looking you in the soul.
Yeah, and then Bruce Willis like spins around, so when JGL shoots him, he only shoots like the gold bars on his back, and he whips one at JGL's face and then runs to him and punches him, and that's great.
Well,
and
he closes that gap so fast.
I love too how like I love how you get the other perspective of that later on, because like when it first happens, like you only like see it from JGL's perspective, so it's like he shoots him and he gets hit, and like you see like his vision and like trying to reload, and then just Bruce Willis appearing out of nowhere and punching him, and then later like after it shows like what happened to like Bruce Willis to that he came here, like his wife getting killed and everything, and him showing up, and it shows you like his perspective, and just the little thing of him, just a little wide shot of him like running to close that gap to punch him in the face. I love that. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's Willis closing it's us closing the loop on how he got there.
Yeah, but I love that little shot, because like when you see it from Joseph Gordon-Levitt's perspective, it's just like, oh, you know, he got whipped with this gold bar, and then he appears out of nowhere and punches him in the face, right? And then you see it from Bruce Willis' perspective and that wide shot, and he just like saunters over and punches him in the face. It's so funny.
Well, and JGL, like, he's a good looper, but he's so out of his element against someone else who, like, JGL is so new to like the profession, and then you have Bruce Willis's version of him that has like been doing this for 30 plus years now.
Yeah,
and so it's funny to see him become a more experienced person and then get his ass beat.
Yeah, because like all JGL does is just like pull the trigger when a person appears out of nowhere, and like you see Bruce Willis's life, he's like, well, he left and he retired, and then he got back in the game and he was doing other jobs, building some other skills.
And then he went clean, man. He went straight and narrow, man, for the love of his life, man. The other thing this film does really well, and we haven't really mentioned the back half of it. The back half of the movie, it feels like a different movie almost, because we leave Kansas. The movie's set in Kansas City. As a Missourian, I love the representation. It's I can't believe they caught my city. They caught one of my cities so accurately. We've got sun panels everywhere. But yeah, they go to the farms. They go to the farm, and Bruce Willis is back there to kill what is the name of the
Rainmaker.
The Rainmaker, which is just a cool mob boss name, right?
Yeah, the Rainmaker.
And so this movie gets dark in the back half because Bruce Willis is essentially there to kill a kid.
Yeah, and he doesn't know which kid, so he goes to kill all of them.
He kills. I had forgotten about there being 3, and so I'm watching this, and now I'm a dad. So let me remind you, I'm a dad now, and he kills the one kid on his stoop. I
do really like that scene. I like his reaction afterwards. Like, he hates himself.
He hates himself, but he immediately knows it's not the kid because he's still there.
Yeah, right. But like he hates that he had to do it. Like he hates that he did it, but like but he's so determined. He's gonna do it again.
Right. He's like, well, you know what? That hurt really bad. I have to go do this other one. Thankfully, he stopped at 1. His body count for kids is stopped at 1. Kid Blue, for the one good thing he does, he saves 1 kid.
Yeah.
And I forgot that he stops him, because I was like, damn, are we really about to kill another kid? And then you have JGL at the farm with Sid and Emily Blunt's character, which I really like Emily Blunt in this.
I am of two minds of her in this.
I like her character.
I like her in this. I like her character. Should we just get into the downs?
Yeah, do some downs.
Okay. I like Emily Blunt. I like Emily Blunt's character. I think Emily Blunt is very good in this movie. I also think once Emily Blunt shows up, this movie slows to a crawl.
They spend a lot of time on the farm.
Yes.
It's kind of the T2 thing, because it feels like Bruce Willis disappears for like a good 20 minutes once you get to the farm.
Yeah, we get to the farm, and it kind of kills a lot of the momentum that was building up to that point. And like it doesn't really come back until like the very end.
Well, this movie is at its best when JGL and Willis are together.
Yes,
because they're so conflicted. they're so conflicted, but they also can't really JGL can kill Bruce Willis, but Bruce Willis can't kill JGL, or that'll fuck everything up.
Yeah.
And once they get to the farm, like they're separated. JGL's like, he's not gonna come here because he knows I'm here, so he's gonna do the other two first. And it's just kind of like, yeah. And then it's a whole. I mean, the Sid stuff is cool. Cause it kind of gives you the backstory of like how Emily Blunt is actually his mom, but she didn't really want to be around him. So, and we had a situation like that in my hometown actually, where someone was raised by their grandparent.
Look at that. Ryan Johnson knows Missouri.
He knows Missouri. So I kind of had a giggle at that. I also forgot that was a thing in this movie. And I don't know. I guess was Emily Blunt a prostitute, or was she just like a country girl living in the city, just having a good time?
I don't believe they ever explicitly state what she was doing in the city, but she was definitely getting up to some illicit affairs.
Yeah, the movie does like slow down once she gets there, but I understand why she's needed, because there's kind of, I mean, one of the central themes of the movie is like the importance of a mom in a boy's life.
Yeah, like I said, like I like her character. Yeah, like I said, I like her character, but goddamn, does it slow down?
Yeah, very, very much.
Yeah, and again, like there's like it slows down, and then it feels like there's less Willis than there should be, and which is my other down, is that there should be more between Willis and JGL.
Well, and I don't mean to sound like a Gen Z pussy, but there's a very unnecessary sex scene in this movie. Yeah, there's not like they Emily Blunt and JGL have an understanding, but it didn't feel like there was any like sexual tension or chemistry between them. So I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, who? Why are we fucking right now?
It just felt like, oh, she's been on this farm for a long time and needed a shag, but like, I don't know. And then like they never mention it again. Like it doesn't develop their relationship at all. Like nothing changes between them.
And Sid was just in the other room listening the whole time.
Yeah. And like it doesn't change their relationship in any way. And like it's not built up to either. Like it doesn't seem like something that would happen until it's happening. So it's like it's like the opposite of like we were talking earlier about Twisters. How like there's no kiss. And like by the end of that movie, you demand that they kiss. It's like the opposite of that. It's the exact opposite. Like there's nothing between them that even hints that they would do that, or that would make you want them to do that, or anything. And then they just start doing it, and then afterwards, it's like they never did it.
Right. And this after Sid had blown up an agent? Like there's blood everywhere, or was this before? I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember if it was before or after. It might have been after. No, I think it was before, actually.
Was it before? Okay, I feel a little better about it being before, because if it was after, it's like, no, a man just exploded in your living room. Stop.
Yeah, no, it had to have been before, because when he explodes that guy, that's when JGL's like, oh, this kid's the Rainmaker. He's coming to kill your kid.
Yeah, he's who you're after. Like,
yeah,
he's who I'm after.
But yeah, I don't know why they needed that. They take that out and add another scene between Willis and JGL, because I think there's only like a couple of them. Yeah. There's the diner scene, and then I don't even know
the farm.
Yeah, that's really it. There should have been more. And this isn't okay. This is a nitpick thing, and this might say more about me than it says about the movie. But I don't know, man. By the end of that movie, I was still thinking, they probably should have just killed that kid.
He was very
like
I am like the most apologetic when it comes to children actors, but I was like, this kid is annoying.
I don't even.
You know what? Maybe that's what it's like. Hey, go be the most annoying little shit you can be.
I don't even think he was annoying. And he was decently, as a cute little kid, I guess. And I don't know, maybe
very kid-like.
Yeah,
very kid-like.
And maybe his little big chubby cheeks reminded me of a kid I used to work with at a daycare when I used to do that. But like, I used to work. There was this little kid named Alejandro, biggest troublemaker and the biggest crybaby. But he had these big puffy cheeks, these big puffy chubby cheeks like this kid. But like, I'm just thinking like, okay, I understand. Okay, the importance of having a mom in your life to raise you right and whatever. But by the end of this, I'm still thinking, I don't know, man. That kid could still grow up to fuck things up. Like maybe, and again, maybe this says more about me than the movie, but not once did I ever think during this movie that not killing this kid was correct.
He still got shot in the face.
Yeah, like I'm sure maybe he won't be as bad with Emily Blunt raising him, but who knows? He could throw a tantrum, and he could still throw a tantrum because he doesn't get a candy bar and killed 6 people at a Toys R Us. Like I don't know, right? Like right? I said JGL is a better man than I, because as soon as I encountered this kid's tantrums and what he can do, I would have been helping Bruce Willis murk this guy.
Look, if his mom's gonna be bringing strange loopers around and sleeping with these loopers, it's a recipe for disaster. Like I'm not tracking anyone's body count here, but I'm just saying it's dangerous.
Like I know the movie wants to be a point where like you understand Bruce Willis's perspective, but you're rooting against him because he's doing the wrong thing. But when he shouted, "You're damn right, I'm gonna kill that boy," I was with him, man. I was with him.
Oh.
Right? Like when he was like, "I'm not gonna let you kill that boy," and he's like, "You're damn right, I'm gonna kill that boy." I was like, "Hell yeah!" Bruce Willis, get him.
Sid using his TK in the field and like knocking over the car JGL and was pretty sweet looking.
Yeah.
This movie's also pretty comedic because there's a moment where JGL along with the Gatman are chasing Bruce Willis into the cornfield.
Yes.
Bruce Willis gets away and the Gatman and JGL are like catching their breath. And then they look up and realize JGL's next to them and they're like, "Oh shit, we can just catch him."
And then he immediately like does like the most comedic like run.
I love it. Like it's kind of got some of the Knives Out humor to it a little bit.
There's nice little pockets of humor there. But is there anything that you dislike that we didn't talk about? Or are we back on the likes?
I thought the sex scene was like the one major one where I was like, what the fuck is this? What's going on?
Yeah.
I'm not having sex. Why are these characters in this movie having sex?
Yeah, how dare they?
You fucking assholes.
They're not even, yeah.
Did you even ask me?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Rian Johnson, isn't there somebody you forgot to ask?
It's a Gen Z movie viewer. Jesus and Rian Johnson. I think that is probably the one.
So we're back on positives.
If there's anything else. Back on the positive. I do like the theme of motherhood.
Because
JGL is the complete opposite of Sid, and his mom traded him for like food or some shit, or like cigarettes or some shit. So it was cool to see that through line for the movie. And then you kind of see a little bit of it with the lovable loser jackass Kid Blue. Yeah, you can tell he's seeking Abe's approval. Like he needs some kind of parental approval in his life.
I think he says it. He says it to Abe like right before Abe like smashes a hammer on his hand. He's like, I just wanted you to think I did good.
Yeah, so I do like this movie's like, push for approval. Even JGL's looking for approval in the wrong places. He's in love with a stripper in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And she's like, honey, I'm working.
I love this ending. I know I was just talking about how I was on team kill the kid, but like besides that, great ending.
Yeah. It's him, closing the loop
he
and saying now
he closes the loop. I love it. I love that whole sequence of him. He shoots the kid, he grazes his cheek, little Sid throws his little tantrum, and Bruce Willis is floating in the air, and Emily Blunt's floating in the air, and JGL's truck is flipped over. I love how Emily Blunt gets him out of his little telekinetic tantrum. That's what I'm going to call it. And I love JGL just going through, like, he's like, I can see it. He's like, I see what happens, right? Like, he sees, like, like his little flash of what's going to happen, of like, Bruce Willis accidentally kills Emily Blunt, kid gets away, grows up to become the Rainmaker, and this is just going to keep happening. And so he's like, I saw this, so what do? I change it, and he just cool flip, by the way, of his blunderbuss before he shoots himself in the chest.
We call that symbolism, Matthew. I don't know if you noticed, but it's a full circle the
Yeah.
blunderbuss makes as it flips.
Yeah, well, it's
Like,
just
like a clock.
It's a cool flip that he does right before he offs himself, and it's a good ending. Just he's like, I saw the loop, I saw what was gonna happen, so I changed it. He's like, I saw the future, so I changed it, and he kills himself, and he closes the loop.
And there's a cool callback in that moment because Kid Blue is making fun of the blunderbuss. He's like, you know why they call it that? Because you can't hit something 15 feet in front of you. And so it's a cool callback to like the gun being basically useless unless you're hitting something really close.
Yeah, something close to the chest.
Yeah, it's a good ass movie.
Yeah, really good movie.
Emily Blunt, like if I was a kid and Emily Blunt held me and said, "It's okay, baby, it's okay," I would calm down. I would stop doing a tantrum.
Also, can we add this to the canon of Emily Blunt movies where she takes shelter in a safe?
Yep. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Does she have an accent in that one too? Is she doing like a southern thing in that one also?
I don't know because she barely talks.
True. Like, was her ASL southern at all? Did it have a southern twang to the ASL?
I mean, it looked like they lived somewhere in the Midwest South, so we can say probably.
Where do you think they got all those fireworks?
Yeah, we can say probably. They were probably near Missouri.
I think if I got anything else. Did I like the music in this? Were the needle drop? I don't remember if there were any needle drops, but let's just say I like the music.
I know there's a needle drop for the end credits. It's really good.
This is good, like near future sci-fi. It kind of feels like it would be set in the same universe as her.
Yeah,
like I like the good like minutes from happening type of sci-fi stuff. It's time travel set aside, but you know what I mean.
And I know it's weird to call a time travel movie economical, but it's a very economical script. Like it tells you everything you need to know. It tells you forget about everything that doesn't matter. It sets up its time travel. It tells you all you need to know about how it works, and then it tells you the rest. The rest just forget about. You shouldn't care about it. It's useless. Just come along for this ride.
Did this come out the same year as In Time, that terrible Justin Timberlake movie?
This came out 1 year later.
1 year. So they had that going against them. Everyone could have just been like, oh God, another one. But no, they did it. They fucking beat the In Time stereotype. They beat the In Time allegations.
Oh, this came out when did Jumper come out?
Jumper was 2007, I feel
2008.
Like.
So 2008 was Jumper, 2011 was In Time, and then there was Looper.
Jumper's a good bad movie though. Like we'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
I might defend that one more than I defended It Follows.
I know
That's
there was
popcorn. That's fucking popcorn flick right there.
I know you said there was like you had like your little Jumper, Looper, some other movie.
I think Wanted was the other one.
Ah, that's right. I should know that. That episode came out today.
Jumper, oh yeah. Jumper and Looper. So like Looper's 4 years later. Jumper kind of feels like it was in the vein of you know how like the Transformers movies around that time kind of have like this blue sky feel to them.
Okay. Jumper's like that.
That's kind of what Jumper was giving me.
Okay.
Very much shot like a Michael Bay movie. Hell, he might even be in the credits. I don't even know.
Oh, it's Doug Liman. That's why. Lehman. I've heard it both ways.
Lehman. I've heard it both ways.
Yeah. So that makes sense. I just hope it's better than those Transformers movies.
I like the first one and parts of the second one.
I like how you like the Michael Bay movies. I don't, and I like the Michael Bay movies. You don't.
The first movie has like an Xbox 360 coming to life and killing a man.
Man, those are bad. But then again,
that goes hard. And that second movie has a giant transformer with wrecking ball balls. I also like the third one. The first three. I'm sorry. Man. The first one, parts of the second one, and the third one. They fucking demolished Chicago in that third one.
I don't know. Maybe I hate them because I hate the way the Transformers look.
They probably don't look too good now. I might have to put one of these on the wheel.
They look terrible. They look just like mashed together. Fucking. You know how like when like you watch a movie, like you know how like cars in a junkyard get turned into cubes.
Yeah.
They look like they just took a bunch of those cubes and turn them into a robot. Which I don't know. Just make a Transformers movie where they look like they're supposed to.
This is reminding me of the Power Rangers movie. I remember as a kid thinking the Zord in that looked really cool. And then I watched it probably in 2020. And it's like, oh, I can't wait to see the Zord. And it is the worst CGI I've ever fucking seen.
I don't know. Half of me thinks I don't like those Transformers movies because they're bad, and then half of me thinks, well, maybe if the Transformers look the way they do in like Bumblebee, then maybe I'd like them more, even if the quality stays the same.
I might have to go watch one of those. What are you rating Looper?
I'm rating this a 4.5.
I gave it a 4. I went just a little lower. I am going to jump up to a 4.5 because really my only complaint is the
sex scene.
The sex scene.
Yeah.
Again, I don't mean to sound like a modern moviegoer, but it's just so pointless. It's dumb. It's a bad sex scene.
Yeah.
Not bad. It's a needless sex scene. Like these characters, there was no part of me that was like these characters, like they didn't meet, and I was like, they're totally gonna fuck. No, not at all.
Yeah, it's just weird, But the
Where
real
does this rank?
question is, yes, the real question is,
you had a better lead in.
The real question is, where does this rank on the dad meter?
Dads love Bruce Willis.
Yep.
Dads,
which, by the way,
like,
last good Bruce Willis movie?
Hold on, I actually pulled up his discography earlier. His filmography earlier.
He does have
this.
a discography.
He does. It's throwing me off that he has a discography. Last good Bruce Willis.
It might be this.
He was in G.I. Joe Retaliate. Yeah, that was bad. He was in Vice. Not the Vice I'm thinking of, though.
This was 2012.
You might be right.
Looper and Moonrise Kingdom in the same year. Yeah, this might be the last good Bruce Willis year. Okay, Red 2 I don't hate, but
he was in that Glass movie.
Yeah, but is that good?
What was the one before that where he only made a cameo?
Split.
Split was good. He was in an uncredited cameo for Split.
Yeah, but I don't count that as a Bruce Willis movie.
He was in that second Lego movie that I really like. I thought that was pretty good.
Was he?
Yeah, he played himself.
Oh. Okay, but like I don't count cameos as like a Bruce Willis. I'm talking like Bruce Willis movie.
You're right. That might be the last one.
I mean, I can't like I don't dislike Red 2, but I understand that it's probably not good.
I really wanted to like A Good Day to Die Hard, but that was just terrible.
Yeah, Sin City,
very bad.
Sin City sequel, right? And then I mean, after 2014, it's basically all direct to video.
Poor guy.
Yeah, it does make me sad.
Yeah, now he's like on death's door.
Yeah, because he was you know what? I know he was an action guy, but Bruce Willis was a really good actor.
He was fun.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite movies are the movies he did with the guy from Friends who just died. The Whole 9 Yards.
Matthew Perry.
Yeah. Those are good. Those are funny movies. Those are catch them on TBS and watch them wherever you catch them type of movies.
Was The Whole 9 Yards the first one?
Whole 9 Yards was the first one. Whole 10 Yards was the sequel.
Okay.
Just fun, stupid movie.
Anyway, dad movie. Okay, so dads love Bruce Willis. I think that gets it to at least like a 60% automatically.
Right. Dads, they can take or leave JGL. They love Jeff Daniels.
They do. Yeah, he'll pop up. They'll be like, hell yeah.
Do dads like Paul Dano? Do dads like watching Paul Dano get the shit kicked out of him?
I don't know, but I do feel like he's one of those guys that dads will definitely recognize and be like, oh, hey, I like this guy.
Hey, it's the Riddler.
Because he's in things that dads like, right? He's in There Will Be Blood.
Hey, there's the guy Wolverine kicked the shit out of and then burnt to death in a fucking shower.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if they like Paul Dano necessarily, but I think like they'll get a kick out of his appearance.
Dads also like Kansas. I don't know why, but dads like Kansas.
That's true.
Makes them think of the West.
Do dads like movies about killing kids?
Ooh, yeah. The kid killing might be a little much, but then they'll see
lower it.
Bruce Willis acted his ass off right after killing that kid, though.
That's true. So I think that negates it. And plus, I think a lot of dads will be on Team Bruce Willis when they see Sid.
Because with a child dying in a movie, like, and I forget how old the kid is in Mystic River, but I don't think people look at Mystic River and like have them deduct points for a kid dying in that.
No. And I think a lot of dads will be like, you know what? This kid's a troublemaker. Off him.
He was walking home from school.
No, not that kid. Sid.
The other one.
Yeah, Sid.
Right?
Sid.
They're like, I bet he is the rainmaker. I hope he gets what's coming.
Yeah. I mean, dads love a get revenge for your dead wife.
They like that too.
Yeah.
I think this is a 95% dad movie.
Yeah? What do you think stops it from 100? The time travel?
Parts of the time travel and just the not enough JGL Bruce Willis together.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, 95.
95.
95 dad certified.
Hell fucking yeah.
In the words of the great film critic Harry Styles, this feels like a movie. This is a movie.
Feels like a movie.
This is a
movie.
This is a movie.
It isn't a movie. My favorite part of the show. These are we're not mad. We're just disappointed. These are the IMDb goofballs. These are folks who watched a movie that told them not to overthink things and overthought something, and went and typed up a little spiel about it on IMDb.
Yeah,
I've got one here.
Right.
Thankfully, it's been downvoted 30 times. Only upvoted 13, so it's a good margin there. But this one is: Young Joe disposes of bodies by throwing his victims down a shaft into the fire. The body seems to slide horizontally towards the fire instead of vertically falling into it. No fucking shit. They're not going to actually throw a body down into a chute, you fucking Neanderthal. They're going to film that. Do you think people in movies are actually hanging off the side of a fucking building? No, you dumb bitch.
I don't understand who watches a movie and then that's the detail of like, hey, that body's not falling down the shaft properly.
It's sliding sideways. Like, no, shut the fuck up.
I'm
so disappointed. I downloaded this also, so
good for
fuck
you.
This goofy bitch.
I have two here because they both pissed me off in equal measures.
I love it.
All right. This one is classified as a factual error, by the way. Whenever anyone is shot, their body flies back several feet. This is only possible if they'd been hit by cannonballs fired from cannons, as the recoil of a gun is equal to the force of the impact. It's a sci-fi movie, you fucking dork.
Please tell me that has more downvotes.
It has 22 upvotes and 11 downvotes.
We got to get those numbers down.
It's a fucking sci-fi movie, you dork. He's using a sci-fi gun. It's like... And also, what's this whole, that's only possible if he'd been hit by a cannonball fired from a cannon. Shut up, you dork. Why do you know that?
What do you label it as? Factual?
It's under factual errors.
This guy's a Civil War reenactor on the weekends.
How do you know? How do you know this fake gun in this fake future doesn't make people fly back several feet?
I don't think this guy's ever actually seen anyone get hit by a cannonball.
Yeah, hate this guy. Anyway, I hate this next person just as much. Although it gives me solace that this one does have 3 more downvotes than it has upvotes. But it pains me that this has any upvotes. It has not been made clear why they had to send silver or gold bound to the body of the victim. Converting so much silver or gold repeatedly to currency of the current time would have raised suspicions of current lawmakers. They could have sent silver or gold separately to Abe, who would have converted the same to current currency and would have paid the killer looper after the kill had been confirmed. This way, they would not have been current legal issues, and the payment gets made only after job done.
It's a crime syndicate, you motherfucker.
Also, I think it does take a genius to know that in this future, I don't think there's too much laws being kept. I don't think there's too many people keeping track of if there's any suspicious amounts of silver bars being converted to dollars.
Newsflash to this guy. I don't know if he's watched the news lately about the government, but these things don't run like they should at all times.
Oh
this is the future world on the brink of destruction. Like everything looks like it's on the brink of like the end. Like
people routinely drive onto the sidewalk. Like
chaos.
There's no laws being upheld here.
No
one's keeping track of it. There's a suspicious amount of gold bars being converted to dollars. You fucking loser.
Like where's all the government in the future is like, where the fuck's all our gold? Where's the gold? But wait, God. If the gold is sent back and then it's brought back into the future, the gold is still gonna be there, right? The gold is still in the rotation.
I just love the notion of this government in like this time period, right, of the movie being like, well, murders are up 10,000%. We don't have enough traffic cops on the scene. Reckless driving is up. But you know what we got to figure out? Why is there so many gold bars being converted to dollars?
They become the guy from that Leprechaun video. I want to know where the gold at. Where the gold? Give me the gold.
God, these people just look.
These are the worst people.
It's just, what do you even watch movies for?
You know what? But we got over our IMDb drought, sadly.
Yep.
This movie had plenty to pick from.
Yep.
You ready for some dad jokes?
I am. I'll go first because you're gonna hate me. I was gonna tell you a time travel joke, but you didn't like it.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Just get out of here. Get out. Go. You're gone. You're gone. I've got two right here. Here's my first one. I think everyone just needs to take it easy on Kid Blue. He was, after all, putting his best foot forward. The reference to him shooting himself in the foot. And then, this Paul Dano guy has really got a nose for picking out these roles. He got his nose chopped off.
I'd love a joke that you have to explain afterwards.
I'm just going to start doing that. Paul Dano really got a finger on the pulse of the roles where he gets the shit kicked out of him. He gets his fingers cut off. Paul Dano ran. He didn't walk in this one to get this role. He had his legs chopped off. I can do this all day.
This is just an aside, and I know he's not listening to this, but when we guest on our friend Johnny's podcast, you should do that. Just tell jokes and explain why they're funny.
Be a good bit. It'd be a good bit.
Because I really want to derail his entire show, and if you just do that constantly, fucking drive him up the wall. Just instead of talking about what he wants to talk about, just throw in a joke and then explain why it's funny.
I don't want to derail the man's podcast, but I might do a joke or two.
Now I want to derail it.
I mean, we couldn't derail it worse than David Zaslav has derailed WB, eh?
That's true. That's why derailing his show would be thematically the right thing to do.
You see, my joke works there because David Zaslav, since becoming CEO of WB, has repeatedly shown that he is not for the artist. He is instead against the artist, as he started to shelve movies that were basically finished, like Batwoman, Coyote versus Acme. But while still being a scummy CEO who, does CEO things like has yacht parties where everyone's dressed like a fucking asshole. That's why that joke is funny.
Should we spin the wheel?
It'll be like that.
Yeah, just do that. Just do that over and over. Hey, you know what? By the time this episode airs, our guest appearance on his show might be out. Who knows? I don't know when we're going on. He hasn't told us.
We're waiting for the go ahead. We're waiting to be brought up to the majors.
I don't even know if he has a schedule.
That's okay. He had Kelly on this week, and Kelly's a good podcaster. Kelly can shoot the shit pretty well.
Should we spin the wheel and get out of here?
Let's spin the wheel and get out of here. Spin that wheel. Put that wheel in front of my eyeballs. I want to watch the wheel do wheel things.
Let me get it.
I haven't seen Son of Wheel in a week. I'm gonna lose my custody rights.
A whole week. My God. But here, share my screen. There you go.
You know who else hasn't seen their son for some amount of time? Fucking Drake.
There you go. You looped it back around.
I told you I would.
Yeah.
To those holding out.
Yeah. Well,
I got you.
There's no time to see your own child when you're DMing other people's children.
I don't. Matt,
that joke is funny because Drake has a history of DMing underage people such as Millie Bobby Brown.
Drake has done stranger things. See, that's a funny joke because he DM'd Millie Bobby Brown, who is a star of Netflix's Stranger Things, which 10 years from now you won't have heard of because it's on Netflix. That's a callback to a joke about how Netflix doesn't market their stuff.
Yeah. See, that joke is funny for two reasons.
Which is a callback to The Electric State, which Millie Bobby Brown is also in.
And all of these callbacks, if you put them all together, they make a loop. And we just did the movie Looper, which is about loops. So that's why it's thematically relevant. and funny. And
If
we're about to spin a wheel, which is also shaped like a loop.
If you sent the older version of Millie Bobby Brown back for Drake to kill, he wouldn't, because he wouldn't acknowledge her existence because she's old, and he wouldn't close the loop. What movies are left on this wheel, Matt?
We have a Prey Predator double feature. We have Snake Eyes. We have The Nice Guys. We have RoboCop. We have GoldenEye. We have Wedding Crashers. We have Punch Drunk Love. We have The Equalizer, and we have Jumper.
I'm down for any of those.
Yeah.
Let's see what we get here.
Except maybe the double feature.
I could still do it. They're both shorter movies.
All right. RoboCop. We were just talking about RoboCop.
It's a sign I should buy that game.
Yeah, I should play that game. I've owned it for like a year and a half.
I might buy that game.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna buy that game once we end the episode.
I don't know. I can't fit in my skills. I'll play it. I'll play it before the expansion comes out, or I'll play it when the expansion comes out. It's a good idea. Anyway, cool movie that we get to talk about next week.
Hey, I love a good satire.
I don't know.
RoboCop is some good fucking satire.
I don't know what you're talking about. RoboCop has no satire. There's no politics in my RoboCop.
You watch RoboCop as a thin blue line guy.
There's no politics. Why can't movies go back to being just fun and entertaining? No politics, no message shoved in them, like RoboCop.
You just no, it's on MGM. No,
no.
No, it's also on Max. I can watch it on Max.
This movie in Canada is on Amazon Prime, or it's on Crave, tariff free. That's our Canadian streaming service.
I love this movie. This is a fun movie.
This is great.
This is like a timeless classic.
God, it's hard to believe they packed all that into less than 2 hours. It's only an hour 42.
And again, Matt watches this movie and he's like, if they didn't want to die, they should have followed orders. RoboCop was telling them to get down.
It's true.
They should have just listened. They should have complied.
RoboCop is there. RoboCop is there to give law and order, and that's what he does.
You don't have nothing to hide. You ain't got to be worried.
Yeah.
Okay.
He should have let that corporation make some more allies for him. You know? Clean up the city. Clean up the streets.
I just need RoboCop to know ACAB. Just know that RoboCop.
Does RoboCop count as ACAB?
I think so.
Because he's a victim of the system just as much, right?
But he's still a cop.
I mean, true.
I don't root for the Lethal Weapon guys either. I don't root for the Rush Hour cops either. I root against them. I'm rooting for the bad guys in all those buddy cop films.
Are you okay? What about Lassie and Psych?
Yeah, I'm rooting against him.
He is a climate change denier.
He is, and you know what? He probably voted for Trump.
You know what? He is very trigger happy.
Very trigger happy. He's probably barking up his door right now for a pardon.
Yeah. You know what? Where was Carlton Lassiter on January 6th?
I need to see the tapes.
Is that my Lassie at the Capitol?
Is that Lassie at the Capitol?
Is that my Lassiter at the Capitol? Is that my Lassie at Nancy Pelosi's office in there?
What a great fucking episode. My God.
Oh God. What a great bit.
I think I know who wrote that episode too. That's a what's the fuck his name? I had coffee with him. I'd have to look it up.
Well, that does it for the show. Thank you for listening, Steve, and all you other standees. You can find us on Blue Sky and Blue Sky only at Stand and Watch. And yeah, I mean, me and Nick are there too, but you gotta find us yourself. Do some work. We can't tell you all the answers.
Yeah. It's a mystery. It's a mystery box. You guys love mystery boxes.
We can tell you why our jokes are funny, but we cannot tell you where to follow us. You gotta do some things on your own. But until next time, whatever you do, don't tell your mother.